Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into restaurants today, but not just the food, although that's definitely always a plus. We're looking at those little black and white squares, the ones, QR codes, and how they're really changing things up for both diners and owners. Our source today is Reinvent the Customer Journey in Your Restaurant with QR Codes from the Restaurant Success blog. And wow, let me tell you, it's seriously packed with insights.
It really is amazing how QR codes have gone way beyond just like simple menu access. You know what I mean? We're talking streamlining the whole dining experience from the second you walk in the door to when you leave that awesome review online.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's so easy to just think of them as a contactless menu, which don't get me wrong is great.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was blown away by how they're affecting everything. We're talking wait times.
With
the whole 9 yards. So when you think of the biggest change QR codes have brought to restaurants, what comes to mind first?
I'd say it's the data side of things. QR codes are like a gold mine of customer info, giving restaurants insights they never had before. Really, think about it. Every scan, every click, every interaction, it's all trackable.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't really thought about it like that.
Yeah.
We always focus on the convenience for us as diners, which is huge, of course. But for restaurant owners, it's like they suddenly had this super powerful tool to understand their customers on a whole other level.
You got it. Exactly. They can see which menu items are getting all the attention, how folks are navigating their digital menus, even what time of day specific dishes are popular. I mean, that kind of data is so valuable for making smart decisions about everything from how they design their menu to, marketing campaigns.
Okay. This is all super interesting, but let's break this down for our listener. The one who might be thinking, okay, data is cool and all, but what does this actually mean for me when I'm out grabbing dinner? What are some real benefits they can expect from a QR code-driven restaurant,
Well, first off, it's all about convenience. Like, no more waiting for a server to bring you a menu, especially during those crazy rush hours. You just scan the code and boom, you're browsing the menu instantly. And for those of us with dietary restrictions, it's a game changer. Digital menus make it so easy to filter and search.
Oh, yeah. That's huge for me, too.
Right.
I have a gluten allergy. Scrolling through a digital menu to find gluten-free options, way easier than trying to flag down a server and asking a million questions.
You know it. Digital menus are a win for everyone in that situation. And then there's the ordering process itself. Have you ever been ready to order, but you can't find your server anywhere?
Ugh, yeah, all the time. It's the worst, especially when you're in a hurry.
Well, with QR code ordering, you're in control. You can order as soon as you're ready, send it straight to the kitchen, even customize dishes to your liking. Less errors, and everything moves faster.
I love that. And don't even get me started on splitting the bill. No more awkward calculations or passing the credit card around the table. Everyone pays their share right on their phone. Game changer for group dinners, for sure.
Definitely, for sure. But it goes beyond just convenience. QR codes also make the dining experience better in some subtle ways. Remember those paper comment cards? The ones that always ended up crumpled at the bottom of your bag?
Oh, yeah. Totally. Guilty as charged.
Well, QR codes offer a much smoother way to give feedback. You just scan a code and leave a review. Or a rating, like from your phone. This real-time feedback loop lets restaurants fix any issues quickly and just keep getting better.
That's a great point. It's like you have a direct line to the restaurant. They actually hear what you have to say, which wasn't really possible before. And ultimately, it makes the dining experience better for everyone.
Exactly. And we can't forget about loyalty programs and personalized promotions. Restaurants can tailor their offers based on your preferences and what you've ordered in the past.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So instead of getting those generic coupons, you might get a notification about a special offer on your favorite dish or a reminder to use your loyalty points. It makes you feel like a valued customer.
Right. And for restaurants, it builds loyalty and encourages people to come back. It's a win-win. But here's a question that comes up a lot. Are there downsides to relying so much on QR codes? Like, what about people who aren't comfortable with technology or prefer a more traditional dining experience?
That's a really good point. I have heard people say they miss that personal touch, talking to a server. And what if someone forgets their phone or their battery dies? Restaurants have to find a balance so they don't alienate anyone.
Exactly. The best way to do it is probably a hybrid approach, where technology enhances the experience, but doesn't totally replace the human element. Restaurants can still have printed menus, servers to take orders, and make sure everyone feels comfortable, no matter how tech-savvy they are.
So even though QR codes are definitely changing the restaurant industry, the key is to use them thoughtfully.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot, where technology and tradition work together to create a more efficient engaging, and ultimately, enjoyable dining experience for everyone.
Okay, we've covered a lot so far, and I'm already seeing QR codes in a whole new light. There's so much more than just scanning a menu. We're talking data, personalization, and creating a more connected dining experience. But there's another layer to this we haven't even touched on yet. The whole world of SEO and how QR codes are impacting a restaurant's online presence.
That's where it gets really interesting. QR codes aren't just changing how we interact with restaurants in person, they're also shaping how we find and connect with them online.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't exactly SEO experts, what's the connection between QR codes and a restaurant being found online? I'm picturing people just like frantically scanning menus, trying to boost their Google ranking or something. But I'm guessing it's a bit more complicated than that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Way more subtle than that. Think of it like this. A QR code is kind of like a bridge between the physical world and the online world. When you scan a QR code at a restaurant, it usually takes you to a specific page on their website.
Okay. So it's not just about seeing the menu then, it's about getting people to visit their website.
You got it. And if that web page is designed with search engines in mind, SEO, it can really help them out. For example, let's say the QR code on their table tent takes you to their online ordering page. If that page is well organized, uses the right keywords, like best takeout and city name, and includes the location info, it can boost their search ranking.
So, like if I'm searching for sushi near me on a Friday night,
Yeah.
the restaurant with the good QR code strategy is more likely to show up at the top of the results.
Exactly. It's all about being more visible and making it super easy for potential customers to find them online. But it goes beyond just attracting new folks. QR codes are also great for collecting data and,
Great.
refining the customer journey.
Okay, so walk me through that. How does tracking QR code scans help restaurant owners make better decisions?
Well, it's all about the data they can collect. Let's say your restaurant is promoting a new summer cocktail. They make a QR code that links to a page with details about the drink and maybe a special offer. By tracking how many people scan that code, restaurants can see how effective their campaign is.
I see. And I bet they can track more than just the number of scans, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. They can see what links people click on from that QR code page, how long they spend on each page, and even if they end up ordering something or making a reservation. It's a treasure trove of info. That helps them understand how customers behave and, adapt their strategies.
Gotcha. So if they notice that a lot of people are scanning the code, but not actually becoming customers, maybe they realize the offer isn't good enough, or the online ordering process is too confusing.
Exactly. It allows for data-driven decisions and continuous improvement. They can try different QR code placements, experiment with different calls to action, and just keep getting better based on what the data tells them.
This all sounds really powerful, but I imagine there are some challenges too, right? What are some hurdles restaurants might face?
Well, one big one is just getting people to scan the codes in the first place, They might blend into the background, or people might not want to use their phones at the table. That's why design and placement are so important.
So it's not enough to just stick a random QR code on the table. They need to make it look good and put it in the right spot.
Exactly. They can use eye-catching designs, incorporate their brand colors, or even add a fun call to action, like scan for a surprise. And placement matters too. Think about where people naturally look. Table tents, menus, window displays, even near the entrance, to catch those walk-in customers.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then there's the whole technical side, making sure the QR codes actually work. And take people to websites that are easy to use. That can't be easy.
Definitely a challenge. Restaurants need to make sure their QR codes work on different phones, and that the websites are mobile-friendly and load quickly. There's nothing more annoying than a QR code that leads nowhere, or a clunky website.
Oh yeah, I agree. And we can't forget about training the staff. Servers should be able to explain how to use the QR codes, help with any problems, and make sure everyone feels comfortable, even those who aren't so tech-savvy.
Absolutely. Staff buy-in is super important. If the servers are enthusiastic and knowledgeable, it can really encourage customers to try the QR code experience.
So it sounds like doing QR codes right involves a mix of technical know-how, creative thinking, and good old-fashioned hospitality.
It does. It's a multifaceted approach for sure. But when it's done right, it can create a really smooth and rewarding experience for both diners and restaurant owners.
Okay. We've talked about the benefits, the SEO stuff, and even some of the challenges. But I'm curious, from a restaurant owner's perspective, what are some practical steps they can take to use QR codes well? What advice would you give them?
First things first, I'd say start with a clear goal. What do they want to achieve with QR codes? Are they mainly focused on contactless ordering, gathering customer data, or boosting their online presence? Having a clear objective will guide their strategy and help them choose the right tools.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach. They need to tailor their QR code strategy to what they want to accomplish.
Exactly. The next step is choosing the right QR code generator and provider. There are tons of options out there, each with different features and prices.
I imagine they'd want a provider that offers tracking and analytics so they can see how their campaigns are doing.
Absolutely. Data is key. They'll also want to consider integration with their POS system and online ordering platform to make things run smoothly. And of course, they need to think about the design and branding of the QR codes themselves.
So it's not just about how they work. It's also about how they look.
Yeah.
And making sure they fit the restaurant's brand.
Right. They can customize the QR codes with their logo, brand colors, and even a clear call to action to get people scanning.
Once they've made the QR codes, where should they put them in the restaurant to
Yeah.
be sure people see them and use them?
Placement is crucial. Think about high traffic areas where customers are likely to notice them. Table tents, menus, window displays, even near the cash register. Those are all good spots.
And I'm guessing clear signs and instructions are important too,
Mhm.
especially for people who haven't used QR codes before.
Oh, definitely. A simple message like, scan to see our menu, or scan to join our loyalty program can go a long way.
It sounds like there's a lot involved in making QR codes work well, but when it's done right, it can really make dining better for everyone.
It really can. It's changing the game for the restaurant industry, and we're just getting started. As technology keeps getting better, I think we'll see even more creative uses for QR codes in the future.
Okay. We've covered a lot today, from how QR codes work to their impact on SEO and how restaurants can use them effectively. But before we wrap up, I'd love to get your take on the bigger picture. How do you see QR codes shaping the future of dining? I feel like we're just at the beginning of a big change in how we eat out. What are your predictions for the future of QR codes in restaurants?
Well, I think we're just getting started with what's possible, As technology gets better, QR codes will get better too. We might even see them used with augmented reality to create these interactive dining experiences. Like imagine, you scan a code and you see a 3D model of the dish before you order, or you get virtual wine pairings that go perfectly with your meal.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. It's like taking that whole gamification trend that's happening in other industries and bringing it to restaurants.
Exactly. And then there's the potential for even more personalized dining. Imagine a future where restaurants have this detailed profile of you based on all your QR code interactions.
That's amazing. So they'd know my favorite dishes, my dietary needs, even how spicy I like my food. It's like having a personal concierge at every restaurant.
Exactly. You could walk in, scan a code, and boom, you have a custom menu tailored just for you. No more endless browsing or trying to explain what you want to a server.
Yeah.
Total convenience and personalization.
That sounds like a dream, especially for someone like me, who can never decide what to order. But thinking beyond the individual diner, how do you see QR codes impacting the restaurant industry overall?
I think they're going to keep making things more efficient and help restaurants make better decisions based on data. Restaurants will be able to manage their stock better, schedule their staff based on how busy they are, and even create marketing campaigns that really connect with certain groups of customers.
So it's not just about making things better for the customer, it's about improving the whole business.
Exactly. We might even see QR codes being used for staff training. Like, imagine new servers using QR codes to access interactive training modules or get help in real time when they have a question about a customer's request.
That's amazing. It's like having a digital mentor right there with them. That could totally change how restaurants train their employees.
You got it. And as more restaurants start using QR codes, I think customers will start to expect them. They'll want that convenience and personalization, which will push the industry to keep innovating and find new ways to use this technology.
This is all really exciting. But are there any downsides? Any concerns or ethical things we should be thinking about as QR codes become more common in restaurants?
Well, of course. Anytime you have technology collecting data, there are privacy issues to think about. Restaurants need to be upfront about what information they're gathering and how they're using it.
So it's about building trust with their customers.
Exactly. And as we move towards this more personalized dining experience, it's important to make sure we're not creating echo chambers, or reinforcing biases. Restaurants need to be careful that they're not limiting what people try just because of what they've ordered in the past.
It's about finding that balance between giving people what they know they like and helping them discover something new.
Right. It's a tricky thing that the industry will have to figure out as QR code technology keeps developing.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. From the benefits of QR codes for diners and restaurants to how they could create this really personalized and interactive dining experience in the future. It's clear that QR codes are more than just a fad. They're really changing the restaurant world.
They really are. It's been great chatting about this with you. I can't wait to see what happens with QR codes in restaurants.
Me too.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, next time you're out for a meal, don't just scan that QR code without thinking. Take a second to appreciate the technology and think about the possibilities. You might be surprised at how much better and more personalized your dining experience can be.
Happy dining, everyone.
That's all for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into something fascinating. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep enjoying those delicious meals.